Hey friends! So today's tutorial is just the first part of our Google Slides animation. We're going to be creating a ball animation because it's pretty simple, but it'll give you the basics on how to create this. And most kids, and you'll see in class, are like, wait, we creating an animation with Google Slides? Yes, we are. There is a little trick that we will do to sort of create our frames and then change our frame rate. Again, it'll be really important that you watch and follow directions. And then in addition, to go back and watch these videos. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up a brand new slide presentation. At any time during this video, you would, if you're giving a direction, you're going to click pause. You're going to go ahead and follow that direction and then go ahead and click play when you're ready for the next direction. Okay. So once we open up a brand new slideshow, we are going to come over here and we're going to name it because that's always what we do for every document that we create in G Suite. We're going to call this one ball animation. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on this folder icon and we're going to drop down. I don't have it because I'm not a student, but you're going to drop down into your on course folder and then drop down into your multimedia folder. So on course and then multimedia. Once you get into that place, you would then click move here. All right, so we're going to get started. We have one slide here. We have it kind of with a layout that's ready for us, but this is not the layout we need. We need a blank layout. Now, I see a lot of kids going over to these text boxes and clicking delete. That's just too long. What you're going to do is you're going to click up to layout and you're going to click blank. So now we have a blank screen and we're ready to begin. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to add a background. I don't care what background you use. It really doesn't matter because all we're doing is animating a ball behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a background and we'll get back to you in a second. Okay, so as you can see here, I made a gradient background and that's where my ball is going to be. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to draw my ball. So I'm going to use the shapes to do that. So I'm going to come up here to shapes and then I'm going to choose the ball. I can start my ball anywhere I want. Doesn't really matter because all we're doing is moving it. So I'm just going to start it in this direction down here. Now, I don't really want a line around my ball. That's called a border line. So I'm going to come up to the line border color and I'm going to say transparent because I don't want a line around mine. And I also want to change the color of my ball because I don't really like that gray. Now, because I have lots of colors in my background, I'm just going to choose black because it makes it just so much easier. So once we have this ball, you are now done your first frame. So hopefully you are caught up and you are ready to move on. Now, we need to now create a second frame. Now, we're not going to create a new slide because now I have to do all of that over again. So we're definitely not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this slide. How to do that is by right-clicking on the thumbnail over here on the left-hand side, and I'm going to click duplicate. So now you see we have frame 2. Made life so much easier. Now, as you knew in doing the flip books, the best animations were the animations that were movements, but slow movements as you went from frame to frame to frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ball. This is frame 2. I'm going to move it slightly. We are now done frame 3. Come back here, duplicate, and move. And I can move this ball in any direction that I want. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause, or you should hit pause, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create 50 or more frames to move this ball all around this slide. So click pause and you can continue, or you can continue watching. Okay, so friends, here I have all 50 of my frames with my ball moving. Okay. Or is it 50 frames? Okay, sorry about that. I tried to do version history and it didn't quite work. So as you see, I have 50 frames of that ball moving. If I wanted to see it without doing it the correct way, I just want to preview it, I would hit slideshow. I'm going to use my arrow keys and hold them down, and I can then see, using my arrow keys, how this ball is going to look. Okay? All right. So now that we have all 50 frames done and my ball has moved and I'm happy with how it looks, I'm ready to now make it into an animation. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to click File, File, and Publish to the Web. So you're going to click File, Publish to the Web. Again, this is a trick that we have learned how to do in Google Slides. Please do not worry about this. This is advancing. So this makes no second. Even if I chose every second, that's going to be really slow, like 1,000, 2, 1,000. So you can skip that because this is what we're going to change in a second when we have an option to. What we want to do here is we want to click Start Slideshow as soon as the player loads and restart it. That makes it an animation, so it continues going on and on and on. Okay? Once I put 2 check marks here, I'm going to click the word publish. Google Docs is going to say, do you sure you want to publish it? Yes, I do. Now, it's going to give me this very unique URL. I cannot change this here at this place. Right in this section, I cannot change it. But this here is important because this is my quote unquote frames per second. So right now it's at every 3 seconds, which is 3,000. That's not going to work, but I'm going to show you how we're going to change that. So I'm going to copy that URL, and now I'm going to come up to a new tab, and I'm going to paste it into a new tab, but I'm not going to click enter. You see over here that 3,000. So that's every 3 seconds. Well, that's not a really fast animation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trick it by coming down to a lower number that's going to make it go quick. I always tell kids, start with 100 and see what it looks like. So I'm going to do 100. Now I'm going to click enter. So now my ball is published and this is at 100. So it's kind of hard because there's no frames per second. It's just we're tricking it. So I may look at this and I may say, I'm really not happy with this. Really what I want to do is I want it a little quicker. Okay. So let me just move this out of the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this, and it's kind of tricky to get it to pause because I need to come up here. All right, so I'm going to pause it. Now, this is the tricky part. I need to come up to this crazy URL, and I need to find that 100 because that's the number I need to change. So it's always after true and delay MS. Again, HTML language. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 100 and I'm going to bring it down to 50 and see if I'm happy with that frames per second. So I bring it down to 50, I click enter, and now you see my animation is going quicker. So the lower the number, the quicker your animation is. And you can play around with your numbers. The only thing that I ask is that, and this is the hard part, is to stop your animation because you will overload your computer trying to do all of these at once. So you gotta come up here. Now I need to find 50. There it is right there. And let's even go down half of that, which is 25. Click enter. And yeah, that's really, really quick. But you get the concept, right? So that is what we are aiming for. Obviously, we're doing more than a ball. We're doing something really, creative and fun that's going to involve more objects. However, this is a start, and they'll teach you how to create this animation. Okay?